Hello everyone, BakaShift here from otakukato.com, and it is once again time for Team BakaMeltingJelly to reform. Woo! So, of course, I am joined by the magical maiden of marvel and mystery, Miss BizarreJelly5.
I wondered if that was me or Pat you were introducing.
Pat's not quite a magical maiden.
I don't know that.
I'm gonna try.
But speaking of the other person we are joined by is, of course, the illustrious prince of all that sparkles, Mr. Animelting.
Hello, I'm here too. It's wonderful. I like being a
And
prince.
of course, if you are unfamiliar with what we do and what this is, we are going to be discussing all of these shows from the upcoming fall 2014 season that we are most hyped and looking forward to. And there's something special about this one, because this is our 1 year anniversary.
You stole it from me. I was gonna say happy 1 year of doing Team BakaMeltingJelly, guys. We did it.
Yeah.
We're doing it for a whole year.
Aw, we should have candles or something.
I've got a glass of water. Does that count?
I have a cup of tea in a mug that looks like a lens.
And Pat's got blue tack, I think.
No, I've got a mug with Pepsi Max in it, but to the camera it looks like dark tea. So everyone think I'm cultured.
Banging. But with that said, and it being our anniversary, and all that, what better way to start than with Original Sunrise in the form of Cross-Ange, Tenshi, To Rio no Rondo. Do you guys want to get your thoughts on this out of the way before I go off on one?
I like the motorbikes, and that's pretty much my feelings.
They're not they're like
I was
motorbike
excited
cockpits.
about as well.
I thought the motorbike idea was cool.
It is cool.
all.
It's like they're similar to the cockpits in Code Geass in that they're kind of like sat forward. It basically means you can have like really juicy arse shots of girls, as opposed to a cockpit where the arse is firmly like placed against a surface.
Like in every sensible mech show.
I know, but this is like nope. Like the PV's like full on. Check out this girl's thong.
Yeah, I like the motorbike because that was cool, but that's about it.
Okay, so
Wait, what
first
was
things
Pat
first.
gonna say? What was
Oh,
yeah,
is this
sorry.
the show I just bagged out for having horrible helmets?
Potentially. I've forgotten
Yeah.
the PV already. All I remember is the floating bike. So
And the dragons. You can't forget about the dragons.
I forgot about the dragons. There's a lot of dragons this season, okay?
Okay, well, Pat can rekindle his thoughts whilst I start going off on one. So, first things first, this is Original Sunrise, and all Original Sunrise that I've seen in the last, like, couple of years, it's just been, like, not amazingly good, but unbelievably fun. So, like, Valve Rave, and that other one that I've forgotten that we're going to talk about an OVA of later. They're just top fun.
Gargantia?
No, not Gargantia, that's not Sunrise.
Strike
They're just
witches.
brilliant fun, and this thing's premise is like there are people like the world is fully at peace because humanity has like unlocked magic or whatever, and there's like one princess who can't use magic, and she goes to an island and has to kill dragons. So it's basically like Broken Blade mixed with Escaflowne. So it's going to be amazing, and the PV looked pro, and it had dragons in it, and the designs were awesome, and I've kind of just had to grow to realise now that if I want to carry on enjoying mecha shows, I need to stop going, it's got CG in it, I'm disappointed.
I don't think I've
'Cause
seen
we're
a
in
mecha
2014.
recently that didn't have CG in it.
It's just a thing now, I'm just going to have to get used to it, like it happened with Aldo Zero, it happens with pretty much everything these days, it's just like, if it's got robots in it, they're going to be CG.
Yeah, but then when you watch the old series, you can be like, oh, this was the golden age. I love this show.
Yeah,
It looks
I remember
so
when
good.
my favourite genre used to have all this wonderful stuff in it, and now it's just like, oh look at what my computer can do. I'm glad the dragons aren't CG though.
The dragons
That's
do
one.
look boss. Like, they look awesome.
But yeah, I'm not sure what justifies this premise, because it's just like the world's at peace, yet somehow dragons and fighting dragons, and her not being able to use magic means that she has to pilot a robot and fight dragons. But
I
no
know
matter
what justifies it. What they did is they
the
sat
fact that
down
we're going to have a
at a table.
yeah.
They went, what do we like? Well, at Sunrise we like robots. What else do we like? Just dragons. It's like, how are we going to put these in a... We need an
How are
island.
we gonna put those
We're going
two
to put them in an
together?
island. And then they went on from there.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be so good.
I think I'll give this one a miss, probably.
You probably will, because you don't really want to watch Mecha series ever. And speaking of Sunrise, and speaking of Mecha series, Gundam's back.
Can I go back to bed? You know how Gundam's back? Can I go back, but to bed? Because it's very early in the morning. And I don't want to talk about Gundam.
But
Well, I
maybe
do, okay.
The protagonist has harrow hair.
Does he? 'Cause
Yeah,
I might have
the
one.
latest Gundam series, Reconquista Inji, is both amazing to me because it is the first kind of flagship, proper, non-side story Gundam series since Age.
What are you
and
saying
so
about
we-
Gundam Build Fighters?
That it's not a flagship Gundam
Or have
series.
you got to be enough about it? Sorry. I'm in a weird mood today, I'm sorry.
It's probably because you're very sleepy.
Continue.
But yeah, and another thing that's really awesome about this new Gundam series is it's got like all the character designers and everything from Eureka 7, so it's just like I'm watching this PV and I'm just like, this just looks like Eureka 7, and it's just,
Oh, yeah.
I just can't wait. Like it's set like long time after, like it's connected to Universal Century. It's set late a while after, and it's about like some kid who's working for some people relevant to the space elevators, and then he's gonna get in a Gundam, and then he's gonna be going off on one doing Gundam things like Gundam shows do, and it's gonna be brilliant. And it's slated for 25 episodes, but I'm assuming it's gonna do a Gundam 00, and that it'll do the 25, and then it'll do a season 2 a bit further down the line.
Sorry.
Bless you.
I will say I'm pretty glad that the protagonist looks like he's happy. It's been a while since, like, not many Gundam series have a really happy protagonist. And this guy just
That's
looks...
true.
I bet
He looks
Build Fighters
chuffed.
did.
He looks so chuffed
But
to be
Build
wearing a
Fighters
suit, and
did.
it's like, look at that Gundam behind me, I'm gonna ride that later.
Well, Build Fighters definitely had a happy protagonist,
Oh, well,
because
yeah.
he's just like, yeah, my mum owns a model shop.
Bear Guy was in that show.
But the
So-
guy of Gundam G is all like, yeah, I'm gonna own the universe.
And he's got like some righteous smile. And I really like the design of the, what's the new one called? I've got it in front of me. The
The
G
robot.
Serafu.
The robot.
And it's like, it's got a really, I like the design of it because it's kind of like, it's got a lot of throwback elements to it, to original Gundam designs, but it's also very like kind of curved and different and modern, and it's cool. It's like the O Gundam at the end of Gundam 00 that was like kind of like similar to the Gundam 00 designs, but was also again very kind of like throwback to the original stuff. But with that said, we can move on because you guys don't care about Gundam enough.
I care
As
about
much as I
Bear
do,
Guy.
anyway.
I like doing gunpla, but I don't like robots. It's a hard thing for me.
It's a hard life.
It
That's
is.
fun.
But moving on to our next show we're talking about is the first of 2 Mappa anime. We're going to be talking about Mappa being the studio that started up their fame recently and rose very highly with Zenki no Terror.
Which I haven't
meeting
seen, so
all
I won't
expectations.
spoil
Oh.
It's got explosions in it.
it. Whoa.
But this is an adaptation, well, an adaptation kind of side story, not directly adapting the exact same content, of the Garo tokusatsu, which our boy Tensei Twister apparently says is amazing, and the few bits I've seen of it, it seems pro. And I've never seen an anime based on a tokusatsu before,
I
and
don't understand why they're doing this one when they could have done Deno, which is like obnoxious popular.
I think Garo's pretty fucking popular as well, though.
I don't know.
Been going for a while.
But I don't know. I know Deno. If I know Deno, then it must be popular. I don't know anything about tokusatsu, really.
Yeah, nor do I, to be
Me
honest. All I know is that... I mean, my main reason for getting hype about this, before I even knew what it was based on, is just because I just want to see where Mappa goes next, because I'm bloody impressed with what they've done with Zenki no Terror, and they are the new kids on the block to look out for this, and the next show we're going to talk about after this. But, I mean, for it being a tokusatsu show, you can kind of, like, you can be aware of what it's going to be like. It can be a lot of, like, ridiculous, over-the-top, fast-paced action, and it looks really cool. I really like the designs of the characters. The guy looks like he's ripped straight out of Yu-Gi-Oh! With his ridiculous hairdo.
Is this
I
the
mean-
one that had the characters that looked really similar to the Claymore?
No, this is the other one
Okay.
that we'll talk about next.
Okay.
And what I found cool about this PV, even though it was bloody short and didn't have much in it, is there was like an armoured horse, which was banging.
And I said it wasn't as good as the horses in Nobunaga Concerto. Because
They were in like
Alan
broken
hates,
CGI armour.
I don't
Alan
know.
hates the horses in
That's
that
because the horses in Nobunaga Concerto are the worst thing about that show's CGI. Go watch Nobunaga Concerto, everyone. It's actually really good, I promise.
show. He's telling the truth. It's really good.
But
These
I mean, to be
horses-
honest, anything else I can say about Garo, like the writer's like really experienced in kind of shonen action stuff, like he did JoJo's and Attack on Titan and Claymore and stuff, so he knows what he's doing when it comes to action series.
I'm sorry, I'm
But-
in such a weird mood today.
He's just been taking her
I
silly
just
pills all
felt
morning.
like singing the JoJo's opening. But I don't know the JoJo's opening. So it's a difficult life.
So you just
It'll
made
be
a
like that
sound.
amazing video of that random Japanese guy doing the cover,
Yeah,
and
that
he's
guy
just
was
like got the
fucking
best
awesome.
pipes in the world. But moving on to the next show on the list, the next Mappa anime, and probably, in fact, almost definitely the show that I'm going to be discussing in this video that I'm most hyped about. It is Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis, and my god, this PV looks incredible.
It does, and
It's
Claire
it's
from
based
Claymore's in
on a
it.
card game.
Claire from Claymore's in it. It's based on a mobile card game, right? Which makes me doubt that it's going to be any good, because any time I've seen something that's based off a net card game, a mobile card game, any sort of card game, it's turned out to be really
Yeah.
bad.
You're hating on Yu-Gi-Oh, Ebby.
Yu-Gi-Oh is different because that's...
You're hating on Vanguard, Ebby.
I've never seen Vanguard. I'm not hating on
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
No.
the original series. I will hate on everything afterwards.
Aw.
Because I haven't seen them, so I can be ignorant. So, but Sengoku Collection was one of them that I remember being really, really bad.
Yeah, I've seen some proper bad freaking
The
things about
worst
different card
anime.
games.
The worst anime is like one of the worst things ever. They don't even know how to play the game in that anime. It's like, okay.
Well, the thing is, this isn't an anime about a card game. It's an anime based around the lore that the card game is based on.
Oh no, that was the same in Sengoku Collection. It still sucked
Yeah.
really bad. So
I see why you're I see why you're skeptical, because to be honest, I would be too. But I've got so much faith in Mappa now, and that PV.
they've
it was
made
just
one
amazing.
thing, Alan. You can't be like, yep, best studio ever. They made a thing that's really good.
No, it's just they've given me a really good first impression of what they're capable of. So I've got high hopes of what they're going to next.
I'm sorry.
Based
Sorry.
on everything they've done so far, it's going to be really good.
Yeah. And Ebby, you can't say you watched that PV and didn't go, yeah, I want to watch this show, because that PV looks incredible.
No, I do want to watch the show, but I'm
Yeah.
really, really skeptical that the story's going to be any good.
So
I don't
essentially,
think it will be.
you're just trying to play it safe. You're not like going, yeah, this is going to be great, so you don't get disappointed.
Yeah,
And
pretty
then
much.
and then if it is bad, you can be like, ha,
Be like,
told you so.
Is it free season 3? I'll remain on the fence until I see it.
Everything.
It looks good. It looks like I like the protagonist. How he's just orange. And last time we had an orange protagonist was Haikaiu, so based on
He's
orange.
a very good protagonist.
Damn.
But man, so much stupid shit happens in that PV. It's just like, right, we're on horses, we're running on the roof. And now I am some crazy old magic man, and here's a magic summoning circle, and a giant horse knight thing appears out of it, and here's a big dragon that's exploding in light, and it looks really good.
Oh, this was the one that looked like it had Dandy from Space Dandy in. I'm in.
Yes,
I'll watch it.
Yeah, you will.
wearing fancy
And another thing I can say is that there was crap tons of CG in that PV, but it all looked really good. Like, it was good CG. Like CG that I can get behind.
Not everyone's got the budget for the nice CG. I don't know who made Nobunaga, but they don't have a budget, that's for sure. They spent all their budget on Mamo, and
Yeah, they
that
did.
is okay. By me.
No, they spent their budget on Mamo and the ending song, which is why they don't have an opening song.
That's probably true. Oh, sure.
Tough
Poor
decisions
Sean.
they had to make.
Okay, but now I'm gonna simmer things down a bit and move into the next show, being Ino battle wa Nichijou kei no Nakade.
And
Which
people have a go at me for my pronunciation. They didn't even say pronunciation right then.
Nah, man, I just pronounced it perfectly. What are you on about?
Pronunciation.
To be fair, I was just reading that and going on as I was going along. But anyway, the only reason I've put this on here to talk about is this is Studio Trigger's follow-up to Kill la Kill.
Oh, it looks so generic.
Yeah.
It does.
It looks so generic.
5 members. It's already got the 5 classic main members. Only one guy, and it's a literature club. Like, it's lots of really generic themes, and they're mixing it into one thing.
Basically, it's school club meets, like, fantasy magic.
Yeah.
Which is something we've seen over and over again. And
It's basically like Chunibyo, but without the Chunibyo.
pretty much. Like, half the medium is Chunibyo without the Chunibyo, though, let's be real.
I'd go so far as
I
to
don't
say
know, I just
everything
like-
that isn't Chunibyo without Chunibyo isn't Chunibyo.
I mean, I am going to watch it, because I want to see where Trigger go. I am not the biggest fan of Kill la Kill, but I thought it was a show with a lot of potential, and did a lot of things wrong that annoyed me. But I want to see what they're actually going to do with their studio, because essentially what I'm picking up from this is they are just pulling a Gainax, but earlier. Because, I mean, Gainax, in their early years, they had crazy amazing stuff, like coming out with Gunbuster and Evangelion and everything. And then they sort of, like, regressed to doing random little slice of life shows, doing, like, He Is My Master and that one about Airsoft that was meant to be horrible.
I liked it.
And kind of
Even though
like,
it
because
was
when you think of
horrible.
Gainax, pardon?
You're talking about C3 Boo.
Yeah, C3 Boo,
Yeah.
the show that whenever I mention it around Ken, he gets really angry.
Well, I mentioned around Ken then.
Yeah, he's just like, why is this show a thing? But yeah, I just kind of like, I see that Trigger, because obviously they're based out pretty much everyone from Gainax, and it's just like, okay, they've had their big major show, and now it's like,
They've
okay,
had their Gurren
and here's
Lagann.
this.
Now it's on to the shit.
Yeah.
It's
But to be fair, none of the big names from Trigger are working on this. Like, this isn't...
Do you think they're just doing it so that they can make money to fund the next thing?
Maybe.
Because
Hope
it
so,
sounds like
because-
a really generic thing that will sell.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
I feel like
it.
people who are in it looking for what they expect out of Trigger aren't going to get what they want out of Trigger.
It doesn't
But
even
if-
look like something that would come from Trigger. Like, the art style
Yeah.
just looks generic as well. It's just like...
Because, I mean, if we think about what's come from Trigger so far, being Kill la Kill, Little Witch, Academia, and Inferno Cop, Inferno Cop has this kind of, like, wacky style and feeling that matches what Kill la Kill was going for, kind of same with Little Witch Academia in a way. This is just kind of, it just looks like anything else.
Yep.
It just doesn't look like anything special, but as I was about to say a little earlier, like, it doesn't have anyone, it doesn't have Hiroyuki Yamaishi, it doesn't have anyone like that anywhere near it. The people who are working on it are essentially nobodies who've done nothing, based on a light novel by someone who's never done anything else noteworthy before. I mean, I'm not going to count it out, because, I mean, anything can surprise me, anything can be good. I'm just like,
Like
Trigger,
Nobunaga
I'm
Con's
confused.
House
Exactly.
Let's see how many
Nobunaga
times you can mention
Concerto is
that.
the show that's like, this shouldn't be good, but it is.
So
Don't
the-
count out Nobunaga
yeah.
shows.
The less faith we put in it, the better it's going to be.
hmm
So maybe
But
this will
we'll-
be like anime of the year, but we're
We'll
just like,
see.
yeah, that's really generic.
But
So-
I mean, we'll see what happens with it, because I'm assuming this is just Trigger being like, yeah, we'll throw this out there until we actually get back to doing something that you'll recognise us for. Basically, and that's enough about that. Moving on to our next
I
series,
know
another
why
one
they're doing
that
it. Before we carry on, I know why they're doing it. It's to fund another season of Inferno Cop Cam.
That's
I
already
think
happening,
Inferno
though.
Cop 3 is already announced, isn't
They've
it?
already
Yeah,
planned
but they've
it.
got to get the money to like.
You've got to get the money to make their little cutout walk across the screen.
You gotta get. They've got a
Okay,
special
next show we're
fire
talking
guy
about
in for the fire part of Inferno.
Is
Cop.
Denki Guy no Honya-san, which is one that Pat put on the list. for us
I
to
put
talk
this
about.
on because I actually read the manga. This is
Really?
this
It's
is
got-
entirely my fault.
It's got the same writer as Wusa. It's got the same writer as Wusa. Oh, I want to watch it. I want to watch it. have Mamo in it. Oh, that'd be perfect. Oh.
It would. I just like it on the grounds that the chick that appears to be the main character has nice red underrims on.
Well, you don't even know about Zombie Girl yet. There's a girl who just essentially sees her reality as a zombie apocalypse.
Spoilers.
That's how I live.
To be fair though, the PV looked like the thing was animated with an Etch-a-Sketch.
It did look really...
It looked quite crap.
It was really weird, because at first it was all like, oh look, dancing buildings, and then it was all like jiggle physics, and I don't know how I felt about that.
Well, I think there was like a little mascot thing that was like a horse with a carrot in its mouth. Is that a relevant thing in the manga, Pat?
I can't remember it coming up, but it was a while ago that I read it, so it might have been like secretly everywhere.
So, I mean, you put this on there because you've read the manga. Would you recommend it based on the manga?
I quite enjoyed it. I read a lot of it, but I stopped at one point, and I only stopped because I was busy. But it was a decent thing. It wasn't anything. It's just like I don't want to say generic anymore. I want to say it's just sort of like a happy-go-lucky sort of show. It's got a main protagonist who starts working at a shop that sells manga.
I'll give it a crack.
Wait, the manga didn't have the same writer as Wusa, so therefore this is going to be vastly inferior.
Less Wusa.
What's the opposite to inferior?
What's going to happen is the horse with a carrot in his and Wusa going to team up.
BizarreJelly5, everyone, when she's had 2 hours sleep.
Inferior.
Thanks, time zones.
Right, let's move on then.
Okay. Based on my mate Patrick's recommendation, I'm going to check it out. And so next show we are moving on to is World Trigger.
Which just has a cool name.
It does have a cool name. It has a very cool name. And it has a very normal premise. It's basically people fighting giant alien things.
But
this is actually the sort of show I expected Trigger to come out with.
Yeah,
I was going to say, but then the studio just make things look really bad all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Toei Animation. You're alright sometimes, just not all the time.
That's the thing is, Toei, they're just like... They do so much that you honestly can't say... like I can't look at a Toei show and be like, yeah, this is going to be good or this is going to be bad, because it's just like they're so expansive, they do everything. Like,
they sound like
if
such
they want to, they can put the budget...
They're doing so much
because I mean,
stuff.
if they want to, they could put unlimited budget into anything because they own kind of the most popular shows. Like they are,
but they
are
still
who
manage to make a lot of their shows look like complete arse.
Yeah, because there are lots of studios are going to just do the thing where they're like, right, let's put our budget to the shows that are going to sell, and not give budget to the shows that aren't going to sell.
I think the budget
interesting
they put
thing
into
about this
just
show,
the PV looks.
Yeah, because the PV is. It's really cool, because it's just kind of like, it looks like an MMV, because it's just like, here's all these manga cutouts moving around, and it's like, oh, it's nifty and everything, and it's just like, is the show going to be like that? Because that would be awesome.
Yeah.
If the show is just like manga pages dancing around, and be like, oh, this is great.
Like
but I don't think it is going to be
JoJo's
like
thing,
that.
You know, where they put like the sound effects across the screen.
Yeah.
Be like that.
Harking back to like.
Yeah, I don't think it is going to be like that, but like props to whoever directed that PV, because that thing was really cool in how they did it. But another thing that I'm skeptical about is the series composed as like my least favourite writer in the universe, the one and only Hiroyuki Yoshino, Mr. I ruin whatever I work on.
But he did Guilty Crown. He made Inori what she was. That's him.
He made the shell in which Inori existed, the show in which she lived in, be bad in many ways.
It's true.
If I credit anyone for Inori, it's Red Juice.
Shout out to Red Juice.
Alright.
You guys couldn't see because we're not on webcam to each other, but I was holding my Figma app and it was adorable. Anyway, speaking of human beings fighting against alien things. Terraformers? Terraformers? However you want to pronounce it, because whatever it is, the name is like a sick pun. Because they're terraforming, but it's on Mars, so it's Terra for Mars, and it's just like, oh.
I didn't even know that connection.
I didn't either until Cam told me about the premise. And the premise is basically they're trying to make people be able to live on Mars, so they're terraforming them, but they accidentally terraformed a bunch of cockroaches, and so it's like superhuman people fighting against giant cockroach men.
It's like Attack on Titan, but with cockroach people.
Pretty much. And it seems like it is going to be the go-to lots of punching shonen of the season, which I'm fine with. I'm cool with that.
Oh man, the studio did Wusa too.
Yep.
Oh.
Like freaking... It's so weird, because I feel like this was a pretty popular manga, but it's being done by like a studio that's done next to nothing, really.
Miss Monochrome in the second season of
Yeah,
Wusa.
like the freaking only things they've done are like the 5-minute short shows, and then suddenly they get this kind of like tier 1 ultra popular manga to adapt.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And like the people working on it, it's like the writer did the Neptunia anime, and that was awful.
Yes,
it was so bad.
But the director did Steins Gate.
Yeah, he did
So-
Steins Gate, and he did
Right.
Technolize. Well, he was the thing with the Steins Gate had a couple of directors, and he was one of them, so we can't say it was all down to him. But
But
because
maybe you can
the
fix this.
the director has done some shit, like the director did Blade and Soul as well. But I'm going to check it out. I think it'll be a bit of fun, just like superhuman people fighting giant... It's just Attack on Titan, but that's fine.
I don't think it's my thing. Although one of the creators does have Tachibana as his last name, like Makoto from Free, so maybe it'll be amazing. I don't
There
know.
you go. That's exactly why it's
You
going to be
found
fun.
your link.
You
Found
heard it
my
here
link.
first.
I just want to talk about Free.
Terra for Mars is going to be amazing because it's got a very, very, very loose connection to Free if you think about it in Ebby's mindset.
Hey, there's no Nanase on there. I'd watch it for sure if there was a Nanase there.
Anything else you two want to say about this one?
The Musa.
Actually, one thing I do want to say is it's not listed as shonen, it's listed as seinen. But I'm just like, how can that be seinen? It's about magic. It's not about magic. It's about like superhuman men fighting against bug people.
Maybe it's like ultra violent or something.
Yeah, I guess.
Like hyper violent.
If it is actually legitimately seinen and not just like this dark shonen
Yeah.
that everyone seems to love
I
these
hope it
days.
doesn't try and like make everything seem so dark and brooding. Like in the PV, it just had the guy holding a syringe to his neck, and that sort of harked
Yeah.
into a
But
couple
I mean,
of other shows. And it's,
I think a lot of people are going to have a better idea about this than we do currently because the OVAs are out already, and I haven't seen the OVA. Sensei Twister, our buddy Cam from Oko, he's done a little review
tested
of the
waters.
OVA on our website, and he seems to really like it. I think it's really cool. But this is like this kind of action-based craziness is his thing. This is definitely his kind of show. I'm
It's not.
going to watch it, and I'm probably going to enjoy it. But
It's not my thing at all.
yeah,
So I'm probably going to give this one a miss unless so many people go, you should watch this because it's amazing for these
Yeah.
reasons.
well, just be aware of who it is that's telling you to watch it. Because do you remember when Yokorama told you to watch Nobunaga?
Yep. Shasiya Krama.
Once again. Anyway, there's actually only one more show we'll be discussing in this
Yes.
first part, and that is the show that makes me think I might have been lying earlier when I said I was most excited about Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis, because flipping Parasite is being adapted. Because when this was first announced that this was getting anime, it's just like, whoa, that kind of came out of the blue. Because Parasite is such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows about Parasite. I barely read manga, and I know about Parasite. Mainly because of that picture of that guy and his hand turns into a penis. So that better be in the anime.
But
Yeah, I mean, it's being done by Madhouse.
I haven't seen that
And-
picture ever.
Really?
Oh, I'll link it to you. I
No,
won't put
don't
it on the
want to
screen.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Right?
Basically,
Can I
imagine
just-
a
can I
man.
just-
What?
Can I just... I don't want to watch this show, and I'm sorry, because people are going to be like, you should watch this show, because it's going to be amazing.
I understand why. It's going to be proper gruesome and horrible.
I can't
But,
do that sort of... Like, the way that they did the gore that I saw in the PV is just not my thing. It
Yeah.
freaks me the hell out, and I can't
And see, that's
deal
one of
with
the
it.
reasons I like it so much. It does feel
that's the
genuinely
thing,
freaky and scary.
That's the thing, I'm not into horror, I'm not into super, super gruesome stuff, and this seems to be a
It's
mix
just
of
gonna be
those
that.
two
Yeah,
things.
pretty
So
much.
I know that this is so popular and everyone is so excited, I'm just not one of those people.
That's fair
I'm
enough.
sorry.
I'm on Ebby's side here.
I have no problem with that.
I can totally see where she's
right.
coming from, because I know it's probably going to be really, really good, but if I watch it, I know all I'm going to be thinking is just like, burn everything, burn that guy, burn her, just don't let anything in this show live.
You just be like
turn into that.
Just like if you were that guy and you just like looked at your hand and there's this crazy thing, you're just like, oh god,
that was
no,
the thing in the PV.
no,
he
no.
seemed to get over that really quickly. I was like, no, you got an eyeball in your hand, man.
At that point, I would be like, going to the doctor saying, "Hi, could you amputate my hands for me?
Then your
Because
hand
I
would
can't
eat the
have
doctor.
hands anymore because they freak me out."
You know what the best thing is? It's just like a really, really dark version of Midori Days.
No. Something I'm surprised you haven't made this point yet. He wears glasses. Does his eye hand need glasses?
Maybe.
I hope he does that.
Oh, is the
Possible.
Mega character so kawaii?
Yeah, man, it's just like
Mega
Midori
hand.
Days. Because like Midori Days, he's
No,
got
Midori
a little,
Days,
he's got a
he
girl
didn't-
that likes him on his hand.
Right, Midori Days is about a little girl that gets stuck on her crush's hand. And she's a little person on the hand. She does not turn into some freaking mutant.
That's why I said it's a dark version. Or maybe Midori Days was probably made long after Parasite was a popular manga, so it's probably that Midori Days was meant as a light-hearted version of Parasite.
You know what Parasite needs? More comedy.
Nah, it's the Polly Pocket to your Mighty Max, if we want to put it that way.
Okay.
So, if you want something
I
to
will
settle
take the
you
Polly
into
Pocket
watching
any day.
Parasite, go watch Midori Days, because apparently Alan reckons that's a really good show to start with before you watch Parasite.
Everyone hates on Midori Days, but its premise is enough to make it brilliant.
The manga of Midori Days is great. I don't know about the show because I haven't seen it, but the manga was brilliant.
I liked Midori
But down
Days.
to like who's involved in Parasite, Seiju, whatever you want to refer to it as, no one big is working on it. Like none of the names.
Yeah, but Madhouse are there,
Yeah,
so they're just.
and
like,
it's
well, we're
Madhouse, and it's kind of like, and you look at the PV, and it's like, yeah, this is Madhouse actually putting money into something, because like certain Madhouse shows over the last few years have just been crap and looked horrible. Like Maho Sensei was a joke. It just looked horrible. It was horrible. Like Photo Kano looked like it was animated
that
with
Madhouse?
cheese. Photo Kano was Madhouse.
Was that? Oh
Really?
my god!
Exactly, but this is like, again, as I was speaking about earlier, studios know what things to put money into and what things to not put money into. This is one of those things. The animation in
I
the
don't
PV at least was
understand,
clean
like-
and pretty damn good.
Go with me on this one. Why would you make an anime if you know it's not going to be popular? Like, why would you put resources into that? Why?
Well,
Because they
it's not
really,
that it's
really
not
wanted
going
to see an
be
adaptation
popular,
of it.
because it's still going to net them money at the end of the day. And like the reason like Photo Kano got made is because the PSP games were relatively. I'm not sure if it was multiple PSP games, but it was quite a popular thing, and so it's basically for the fans as to why all these spin-off things get made. But
No, I'm not even going to argue it. If you like Photokano,
if you like Photo Kano, watch Parasite because it's by the same studio and they're very similar. I bet Parasite's going to have an Emoto episode
it
as well.
evokes the same feelings in me.
Yep.
Sickened
I can't wait.
burn
I
everything in that
absolutely
show as well.
can't wait. 'Cause
Burn the harem,
honestly,
burn the
if
camera.
if this hadn't gotten made, eventually I probably would have caved and read the manga anyway because I've heard so much about it.
This is one of those manga series that's just like popular,
Mm.
even if you're not particularly into manga.
Yeah, I
Because
think this
have
is going
loads
to
of
be
friends
going
who
to
are just
explode.
like, oh, I picked this up because I really like horror. Same with
Yeah.
Uzumaki.
Mm. Yeah, that needs to happen next. I really want an Uzumaki anime. And not an Uzumaki Naruto anime, because that's already a thing.
Wait.
Right then.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps up this first part. It's quite short in comparison to usual, but it's strange because, well, you'll see in the next one we do over on Ebby's channel. We've got a lot of OVAs in there, and that's kind of lopsided a couple of the videos. But whatever. Thank you for joining us for part 1. Thank you for joining me, Ebby and Patrick. So
Yeah.
tomorrow
See you later.
over on Ebby's channel we'll
Hopefully.
have part 2. We're going to talk about some shows that are a little less about parasites on your hand and a little more about shoujo romance and I don't know, like people in bathtubs that are mermen and kyoani and stuff.
Spoilers.
And OVAs.
That's all we're talking about on that one.
Spoilers.
And then day after on Pat's channel,
Yep.
talking about sequels and films and stuff like that.
That's what I
So
talk about.
if you are one of those crazy people out there who has yet to subscribe to these two, you go do that. And thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye!